about the celery.
Yeah.
So when I prep the celery, do you want me to prep this part as well, or discard the tops?
You know, usually I cut it off at the
the
end there, but I do compost them, so we're not going to be wasting them.
Okay, good.
Okay.
How you doing? You crying yet there?
No, I'm good.
Are you sure?
I got it.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
All day.
All right, man.
I forgot my goggles, but I'll be all right.
You know, Bambi's mother gets it at the beginning of the movie. Man.
Okay, so let's talk about the Scottish part of this, guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to sneak in between you. Can I sneak in between you guys? Here, let's do this. Then you have more room, and I can sneak in here. Okay, so Scottish Fantasy is the Masterworks that's coming up in a couple weeks. So
February, November 23rd.
Yeah. And you're doing it in Cedar Rapids and Coralville?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for you, those of you that are not in the corridor of Iowa, we are here with Orchestra Iowa. So we're Cedar Rapids, Iowa City corridor, about 4 hours west of Chicago, in the beautiful downtown Paramount Theater, which is the home to the orchestra.
Right.
So tell us about the Scottish Fantasy.
Well, first let's start with the artist. Her name is Melissa White. She is a wonderful musician. She's one of the founding members of the Harlem Quartet, and we had the Harlem Quartet as one of our guest artists. Was it last year or the year before? And I just remember during that performance when they were playing a really cool piece for quartet and orchestra, she was like 2 feet away from my left ear here, and she was amazing. So we reached out to her and said, hey, do you want to come back to Iowa? And she said, yeah, I would love to. And then as we often do, we say, okay, what would you like to play? And she came back with, I would like to do the Scottish Fantasy, which is really, it was really great because as a student, that was one of the first pieces I ever conducted. And
interesting.
It's gorgeous, it's sweeping, it's got all these beautiful Scottish melodies, and just by coincidence, thanks to the great Dr. Julie Thomas, over the years our symphony harp was really declining, and so with a very generous donation, she donated for a new harp, and this will be kind of its maiden voyage because the Scottish Fantasy is as much a harp concerto as it is a violin concerto. So, so that's going to be wonderful. And for those of you classical music geeks out there, you know, there's something about Bruch and the way he writes for violin that's just so luscious and just gorgeous, and you know, anybody with a pulse is going to love that piece. So come out and check it out if you're in the viewing area, and it'll be absolutely wonderful. So
the Saturday is Cedar Rapids at the Paramount. Sunday, is it at Coralville?
Yeah, Coralville Center for the Performing Arts, which is in Coralville, and it's a lovely intimate theater. It seats about 500. Would you say? And yeah, so actually one of the things that happened when I joined Orchestra Iowa is we used to just do either one concert a weekend or two just in Cedar Rapids. But for those of you who don't know the area, Iowa City and Cedar Rapids are basically 25 minutes apart from each other, and we're basically the same metropolitan area. So we do doubles, meaning that we perform in Cedar Rapids on Saturday, and then we repeat our performances on Sunday at the Coralville Center for the Performing Arts.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Melissa is an artist that I worked with. I just moved here from Baton Rouge with my previous place. I worked with her a couple times there, and I had actually just hired her to do Scottish Fantasy with the symphony there, and I was not going to get a chance to work with her, so I was really disappointed. I come here like, perfect. All right. So I still get to check that box off of getting to work with her again on that particular piece.
Okay, you know, you can keep those over there. Do you want to wash your hands?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is not unusual that when artists, you know, have certain repertoire under the fingers, and if they have back-to-back engagements or engagements that are close together, they like to try and do the same piece so they don't have to retool for an entire different piece within a couple weeks between performances. So, but I'm glad she chose this piece because Jill's my wife, and of course you can't see her, but she's right there, so I want to embarrass her. She's been on my case, dogging me for years to do this piece. That, and Daphnis and Chloe, by the way. But anyway, yeah, actually it is one of her favorite pieces. I kid you not.
Okay. We're going to jump back to the food, and then we'll come back because we want to hear more about Eric, the new CEO at Orchestra Iowa. So I'm going to just put a hot pad here because I'm going to bring this over here.
Yum.
To show you guys and finish off what we're doing.
Beautiful. Oh, that looks great.
So that is a little thicker, so that's good.
You know, if that doesn't say anything about Scottish food, it's brown food, baby. It's brown food.
Oh, shoot, that's funny.
I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, it is brown food. So we've got, like I said, and I'm going to take the bay leaf out. The beef and the onions, there's
It smells great.
stock. So the stock, I know, like how can it be bad? Because it's the, there's wine, there's garlic. The stock, I made homemade beef stock
Can I take the Bailey out?
and lamb stock.
Oh, it's good. Can I take the Bailey out?
Yeah,
Bailey?
like it's not going to be terrible. I don't think.
No. So this is what cooking is all about. You know, a recipe is just a starting point.
Right?